Hello everybody and welcome to a movement routine in the squat. I often use this routine with my students to help mobilize their squat before training or just as a daily practice. So let's get right into it. We're going to start at the bottom of a squat and we are going to turn our body and reach down to the floor with one knee. You can use your hands here on the floor to help you as you've pivoted, and make sure you repeat this on both sides. Next, we're going to do the same thing, except we are not going to use our hands down on the floor. Make sure you are pivoting on the balls of your feet here and come back into your squat. The next pivot you do will take you a little bit further around so that you finish facing behind you almost, and you can have your hands down on the floor again behind your feet. All of this needs to happen on the balls of the feet and keeping the hips as low as possible. Spend a little bit of time here in this final position before you turn yourself back round and finish back in your squat. Next, we're going to play with a little bit of ankle dorsiflexion on the foot that we are crouching on, essentially. So lean your knees back and forth on the foot you crouch on. So pivot out to the side, enter your crouch, and lean your knee forward and backwards, trying to get into the ankle as much as possible. Now we're going to try to straighten the free leg in this position, so the leg that we are not sitting on, not crouching on, we're going to try to straighten it. Pivot out to the side, sit on one heel and straighten the other leg. Try your best here to balance, do not put the hands on the floor. Next, from our same pivot, we're going to slide that free leg forward again, not as far as last time, and we're going to transition into a lunge from this position. So we're transitioning the weight from the back foot into the front foot, all the while trying to keep the hips as low as possible. Pivot, slide the foot forward, keep the hips low, and transition the weight from one heel, the back heel, to the front heel, and reverse the motion, all the while not putting your hands on the floor. Next up, you're going to spin on the base foot once again and allow the free leg to just drop and lie sideways on the floor, nice and flat, and you'll reverse the motion. You can use your hands here as you pivot, sit on that base heel, and the free leg lies flat on its side, crossed in front of the base. Next, we're going to play with some sagittal movement down in the squat. So we are going to lean the knees forward and reach close to the floor with them here and bring them back. You can keep your hands on the floor here, sliding the hands along to help you balance, and you're essentially finding your crouching position, making sure the hips are staying right above the ankles and the heels, and you're leaning as far forward as you can. You do not necessarily need to touch down to the floor with your knees, but you are trying to keep some tension in your core and in your glutes. Make sure the pelvis is in posterior tilt here once you start leaning all the way back and hands reach for the floor. Eventually you can reach down to the floor with your knees as you warm up. And finally, we are going to repeat the same sagittal pattern down in the squat. The only difference now is we are going to try our best to balance and not use the hands down onto the floor. So reach as far forward as you can with the knees and then return back to your squat. This concludes our movement routine down in the squat for you today. Keep playing with it, have fun and enjoy.